Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamu alaikum and greetings. Welcome to DIY Woodworking TV and my little workshop. I am really not very good with hand router or palm router, that's what they call it. I tried it, I did my job, but it wasn't a beautiful job. So I thought, for my upcoming projects, I wanted to use scrap wood and route long lines into it so I can put resin art in that and make it look beautiful. That project is coming your way very soon, obviously, inshallah. I thought I would simply ruin those straight lines running the router by hand. So I went ahead and made this sweet jig for my router. Check this out. There it is. And I had to do a jig for a jig as well. Now my router moves really fluid, and I can cut straight lines as long as 1 meter right here. And yes, I tested it. It cuts straight lines, really straight lines. Very tiny difference. If you talk to me, I would say I'm really happy with its performance. Now, to make this router jig, I did not want to use new wood, so I just went ahead and took my circular saw crosscut jig that I made previously and used that as a base. Then I took a small piece of plywood lying somewhere in my workshop and cut a square in using my router and using my hands, yes, and made a space for a router, original router, a stock plate and a holder to fit in properly. It took me a couple of tries to basically make the square right for the plate to fit in. And then I took 2 of those circular bearings, I hope I'm calling it right, these circular bearings, that I purchased along with those steel rods. So I added those circular bearings pieces, 1 at both sides. It was easy, I just had to drill 4 holes for each. And after that, this was a critical part. I had to add this piece of wood, both sides, as a fence, exactly 90 degree. These have to be exactly 90 degree because they were a critical piece. After that, before I finalized the fitting of the steel rods, I had to make sure that the router actually moves from left to right exactly in straight lines, and I took my time. I took about 15 minutes on this step, drawing different lines using my pencil on the router jig and making sure that it's actually making lines at the same dimensions or same measurements, and it's not running diagonally even slightly. This was very critical for this router jig. .6 centimeters, say. This is 5, 6, 7.7 here, and at this place it's 0.6, and obviously here it is 0.6 right here. So 0.1 centimeter difference from here to here. That means this wood is not clamped right. And obviously whenever I'm clamping the wood, I have to make sure the wood is always clamped right. So if I see the measurements here now, from this corner, this is, just give me a moment, let me remove the glasses so I can see clearly. Okay, I just want to be able to flush it there, right, and this is 3.4 centimeter, and the cut ends here, surprisingly 3.4 centimeter. surprisingly, I wasn't expecting that because you know, I did not measure these when I because I installed these pieces of wood exactly 90 degree to the, you know, the base, the plywood. Now that the router jig was done, I realized I had a problem if I wanted to cut across the wood, and I was having problems clamping it. If I clamped it, the router plate will touch it and I won't be able to actually mill or, you know, route in the wood. So I went ahead and made a jig for a jig, and using this little square I can easily clamp the wood on it. Basically the problem was cross cutting, and that's where I wasn't able to clamp the wood. But with this jig for a jig, I was able to clamp the wood properly. Okay, so check this out. I created a jig for a jig. Well, this is a clamping jig, okay? And if I want to, you know, this is still, you know, I have to do the wood nicely. So the thing is, if I want to clamp the wood, router is here. Let's put the router in so we know the things in perspective. The original purpose to make this jig was to, you know, route long lines in the middle. Okay? And for that, I have tested. If I put this wood against this one, exactly 90 degree, I don't even have to clamp it. I just hold it and run the router all the way, as long as it goes, and if there's a small place left, I can make do of it. But to say, if I want to route something in the middle, from here to here, I will be able to do that by putting the router here, pushing it down while it's on, running all the way here, and make my cut. What's coming, if I wanted to cut dados or across, I wanted to route things across, and that's where I couldn't clamp the wood. So I created the clamping jig. If you look at it, jig for a jig. Now I can clamp the wood properly here, and I can run my router along to cut dados.